Hi there, Simeon Tuitt here of simeontuitt.co.uk. Today I want to share something with you. If you go to Bing right now and you type in home automation, one of the things you're going to notice when you actually get the predictive search results is this. You're going to find my name in the search results. So you're going to see my name just here and you're going to see my name just here. Now, outside home automation, I'm a marketing specialist. I help people and businesses market things on the internet and basically gain exposure. Now, it doesn't matter what it is that they're marketing, or in my case, what it is that I'm marketing, I can get great exposure and free exposure for whatever it is I've got to get in front of a crowd. Now, as with home automation, this is something that's really specialist. This is, something that not everybody is doing. And because of that, I decided to teach it to other people. And I'm doing it in a way that other people can copy a real example of a smart home that I've set up myself, and I did it on a budget because I wanted to be able to show other people how to set up their own smart home on a budget. Because when I checked out the market and I seen the different devices and the different options that are out there for people to basically, kind of figure out and decide whether it's for them or not, it was confusing. It wasn't cheap, and I wanted to be able to get away that anybody, the average person, could basically start, smart automating their home to save on their bills by turning off plug sockets and turning off things when they're not in use, to be able to have a cool home that basically when they got home, it entered home mode and everything started turning on, from the TV turning on the front room to the lights turning on, so people could basically start smart living now instead of waiting for years down the line where this stuff, basically becomes the norm. Because everything about a smart home that you've seen in the movies is already here now. It's just a case of somebody putting it together in a way that you know exactly how it all works. So that's what I did with myself. I set myself a small little project where I basically, I automated my front room. This is where it started for me. It started with my front room, and quite simply, it went from there, because the first thing I did was I got a smart automation home controller. That is basically what I call the home brain. It's the device that allows me to basically link everything into it and control the home. Now, while I'm talking, I'm just going to show you another example of myself in the predictive search results. So when people are typing in home automation, they are finding me, they're finding my site, and they're finding what it is that I'm actually teaching. So right now, like I say, if you go to bing.com right now and you type in home automation, you're going to see my name in the predictive search results twice. Now, it could be even more by the time you're actually doing this search, but right now it is in there twice. So you can see it says Home Automation DIY Simeon Tuitt, and towards the bottom it says Home Automation Simeon Tuitt. So if we just clear the pen a moment, and we've put in Home Automation, so we're going to put in Home Automation DIY. Now, as you can see, my name again has came up twice in the predictive search results. So we can see it just here and again just here. Now, that's, on top of each other. So, Home Automation DIY Simeon Tuitt, Home Automation DIY with Simeon Tuitt. Now, I did this because I know how to market on the internet, and I want to get, this information in front of as many people as I possibly can. So, I decided to use what I know about marketing to be able to do this. Now, if you're looking for a way to market a product or service, or, your business, then, get in touch with me and we'll talk, and then we'll see what we can do for your business. But back to home automation and smart homes, because I've seen that there was not, cheap options for people to be able to automate their own home, because it basically came down to spending a few £100s or dollars on a smart hub. Then that hub, they'd have to, buy different devices that were made for that particular, manufacturer's hub. And those, smart devices, it could be a light bulb, could, cost £100. If you've got an average size home, £100 for a smart bulb isn't cheap, even if the smart bulb does last years and years and years. So I thought, okay, this is what's putting people off and will prevent people from starting their own smart home and setting things up in a smart way. Then the other problem I seen was all these devices needed to be connected through the internet. Now that's great if you've got a really reliable internet connection. But at the moment, as I record this, in my area for the past 2 months, I've had intermittent internet connection. So my connection's been dropping, and it's not due to, be repaired fully until the end of this month. I was told by the company that I get my broadband from that it's not going to be done until the end of July. So what that means is, if I had a smart home that was just connected solely through the internet, I'd have some real issues. Let's imagine that I've got, for instance, some smart light bulbs that have to be connected to my Wi-Fi router, where the actual, control is based on the internet. So in order for me to use the app on a mobile phone, I'd have to have a good internet connection. So let's just say I wanted to turn on the lights, turn on the lights, or I wanted to, control a plug socket. I've got for instance, a great example is this, is I've got a printer in the passage. Now I've got a plug socket that I can control from my mobile phone. I don't need internet access for that. But if I did, and this, desk is pushed back and it's blocking the actual unit that, turns the plug socket on and off, and I have no internet connection, I can't turn on my printer. The only other way to turn on my printer would then be to pull out the desk, to pull out the internet connected plug socket, and to plug the plug in manually, which is exactly what you're trying to avoid. So, this is why I did not go the conventional route when I was, doing my smart automation. And it's one of the many things I found out that people will encounter if they go the usual route of, buying off-the-shelf solutions. So my own home automation is custom built. It's a custom solution. I use a particular type of smart hub to connect everything to, but the one that I use means that I can connect any device to it. And it doesn't have to be from a particular manufacturer, so I can buy, parts, from different places really, really cheaply. And I've sourced some great sources for things like plugs, things like lights, things like switches, that I can now control from my mobile phone. Now, this is something, like I say, there was no blueprint for me to be able to follow. I had to design and basically come up with the blueprint myself so that I could teach it to other people, I could give the information to other people, and they can benefit from it. So now here's a quick example of, what happens when I get home. When I get home and pull into the drive, the TV turns on, the lights turn on. I set up what I call scenes. So that's basically any series of events that I want to happen when I've basically got home and, the smart hub has, basically sensed that I'm back. So when it senses that I'm back, it will turn on any device that I've set up to come on. So in my case, that'll be the TV, that'll be the front room lights. If it's in winter time and it's going to be dark outside, the heating automatically comes on when I get home. It senses when I'm on my way home and it turns on. When I leave the house, the heating will turn off. The smart hub will, turn off the electrics. It will turn off the plugs. It will turn off the TVs. It will turn off anything that I've set up to be turned off. In this case, it's the whole house. So the moment I leave the house, I'm actually saving money because everything that doesn't need to be on is being turned off. Now, let's just imagine, for instance, you're somebody who's, on a prepaid electric meter. And you've basically topped up your electric meter, you've had to run out for some reason, and you've left on a few things. You've left on your computer, you've left on your, your TV, you've left on something in the kitchen, and all these things are draining electricity. Now, if you're out for an entire day, or you're out for a few hours, or you're out for longer than you anticipated, then all that stuff's going to be eating into your electrical, budget. And basically, by the time you get home, you could get home to no electric. Now with a smart hub, the kind of thing that I use, the house brain, if you've connected your plug sockets into it, for instance, you could have connected your washing machine into it. So when your wash has actually finished, you can turn it off. You can have it set to turn off your washing machine at a particular point. Or if you've, gone out, you can control it from your mobile phone. So if you look through your CCTV cameras, because you've set up a custom system like I have, then you can say, okay, the washing machine's finished. Okay, let's turn off that plug socket. Done. Okay, the TV's still on. I forgot that was on. Turn it off, because you can see all this stuff from your mobile phone. You can control it all from your mobile phone. Now, let's just say, for instance, it's, one of those white mornings, you've got up late, you've done your ironing, women have probably done their hair and left their curling iron on the side or something like that. Guys have probably, just ironed their suits and everything and, left the iron on, ran out the house, left the front room TV on. Again, all these things are going to be using up electricity while you're away at work. But on the other hand, things like irons and curling tongs, are safety hazards, because if you've left them on, depending where you've left them, you could start a fire. Now, if you've got plug sockets, basically that you can control from your mobile phone that are, connected to your smart device, you can remotely control those plug sockets and turn them off. If you've got, CCTV built into your home automation system, then you can check, and see if something's left on. And then you can just quite simply flip a switch on your mobile phone and turn it all off. Now, this is saving you money. It's also giving you peace of mind. And this is one of the things that smart automation allows you to do. It allows you to simplify the things that you already do in your daily life. So, for instance, in my house, if I go up the stairs, one of the problems I always had was if I came downstairs at night, made myself some food, and then, left the kitchen, I'd have to go into a series of horrible actions. Firstly, I've got a plate, I've got a drink, so my hands are now full. I've now got to turn off the kitchen light. If I turn off the kitchen light before I actually grab the stuff, then I can't actually see it in the dark. So, okay, I thought I needed to automate the kitchen light, so to stop me having to use my elbow once I've got the plate and got the drink to turn off the light switch. Then I get into the passage. If I'm going upstairs, then I've got a choice of either leaving the passage light on, going up the stairs and basically, coming back down to turn it all off, or I could smart automate it, and that's what I did. So basically, as soon as I've hit the bottom of the stairs, the passage lights turn on. As I walk up the stairs, they remain on. Once I've got into a room, the lights turn off. Now, this is something that I set up just using a PIR sensor, but quite simply, it's an intelligent PIR system from the way that I've linked it in. So if I stand still on the stairs, the lights will not turn off. They'll dim, and as soon as I start moving, they turn up again. Now, this is something, I thought I just need to make what I already do simpler. I need to make my normal life easier. And this is, what I built into my smart system. Then it was things like doors. I thought, okay, what can I do with the doors? So for instance, the living room door, I thought, let's put, some magnetic, remote controller on the door. So when the door's opened, it turns on the living room light, so I don't even have to reach for the light switch. When I leave the living room and pull the door shut, the lights turn off. Simple. So, I removed a step just there. Then I thought, okay, time for the bathroom lights. So what can I do with the bathroom? I wanted to remove the need to actually touch any switches in the house. So with the bathroom, I removed the actual pull string and I set it up with a PIR sensor. So you open the bathroom door and you walk in, and quite simply the light will turn on. Now it will only do this at night time. So it's not going to be going on constantly throughout the day and using electricity. So again, another simple smart device, but when you start connecting all these things together, not only does it save you money from unnecessarily, keeping the electric on when you don't actually need it, it just simplifies things. So it's all this kind of stuff that I can teach you to basically start integrating into your own home automation system for a smart hub, for a smart controller, and quite simply, just removing a few steps. Now, the kind of things that you can use this for, the sky's the limit. But at the same time, let's just think, if you've got an elderly relative or someone that, has got limited mobility, all this smart home automation stuff can really help them. Because my gran, for instance, before she passed away, she had to have a second light switch put in her room because she could no longer use the one that was across the room that she had to switch on the wall. So she had to have a dangly cord one above her bed to turn off the light. Now, with smart automation, you can set it so people can control it from a remote control, so they can do it from their mobile phone. So quite simply, it can just turn off at a particular hour of the day. Now, this is just helping people in different situations control things around them. And this is why it's smart. This is why it's, something that you should look into. So it's not even a case of just having a really cool home. It's a case of making accessibility easier for people that have, limited mobility, or just, like I say, there's so many different, aspects of home automation and how it can help you in your daily life. Anyway, like I say, because I'm a marketer and because I'm now being found on the search engines for things like home automation and home automation DIY, it is meaning there is a lot of demand from people that are looking to get started in it, dropping me emails and asking me basically how they can go about getting into it. Now, if you want to get into home automation, you need to go to simeontuitt.co.uk and start there. Grab my video so I can introduce you to how I actually got started, and we'll take it from there. But like I say, I've built a completely custom system. what I actually do with my own home automation now, you can see on the videos on the page. But I've got to a point where I've done stuff with home automation that isn't even being sold in packages that you can buy off the shelf.